probably seen some crazy visuals from polluted rivers from our social media. At Sungai Watch, we are on a mission to stop plastic from going into the ocean by cleaning our rivers. But that is not all that we do. About 40% of the waste that we collect actually comes from cleanups. We organize weekly volunteer cleanups like this one in the rice fields, and we conduct emergency cleanups in mangroves, on the coastlines and riverbanks, and that is what we want to show you in this video.
It was 15 years ago that we cleaned up this beach for the first time. It's crazy that it's been so long, yet so much is still washing up on these beaches. 15 years ago, I was just 12 years old, Gary was 14, and Kelly was 16. And we would come here every weekend, pick up trash, hand it over to a local organization here that recycles plastics. But cleaning beaches is not the solution. We ended up learning that most of the plastics in the ocean actually comes from rivers. And so we completely changed our approach. 4 years ago, we officially started Sungai Watch to stop plastics from going into the ocean by cleaning rivers. We now install simple floating barriers that stops the plastics from reaching the ocean, but also working upstream of our barriers, working with communities, working on education, raising awareness, and using data as a tool to understand ways to improve waste management infrastructure. So yes, cleanups are not the solution, but it's how we got started on this very beach 15 years ago. And it's still a very core part of who we are at Sungai Watch. We're a cleanup organization after all, and although we're cleaning up beaches, rivers, mangroves, and coastlines every day, we're spending so much more time upstream to make sure that plastics does not reach our rivers in the first place and does not end up in the ocean or on the beach.
So people know that we do a lot of cleanups on the ground. You see all of the pictures of the visuals of us in action, but we go always a step further and we collect a lot of data about each cleanup. With all of the data that we collect on a daily basis, we then aggregate everything to really get a really good overview of our actions since the beginning. And for instance, here it's a graph since our inception for both Bali and Java, and where you'll see the dark blue as being the amount collected from the barriers and the lighter blue from cleanups. Almost half of our work comes from the river barriers and half from cleanups on the field. The most impressive ones have been in the mangroves, where we've conducted, in this one in June 2021, a 24-day cleanup, like non-stop, with so many people joining, the army, community, the government, where we had collected over 75,000 kilos, which is just mind-boggling to imagine. We see here a lot of illegal landfill cleanups as well. So there are a few ones from the different regions. We have Tepa and Yani, which was the time when we transformed this illegal landfill into a sunflower field, which was a very unique project and had so much meaning. And then we have our iconic Dreamland canal cleanup, and it's also been some of the quickest cleanups that we've conducted. The barriers have a slightly different function, as in like they help us on a daily basis to be able to track how much is just like flowing out. It's also a very visual statement and reminder for anyone just passing by. Cleanups have a very different purpose in that we really just want to focus on a specific area. By looking at some of the numbers, it states that we've conducted more than 1,300 cleanups since we started, which is a crazy amount. That's would be close to one a day.
Sampah non organik, gak cuma plastik. Nah mungkin nih teman-teman Marriott coba.
So this morning we have about 100 volunteers that came to join us to clean one of the most polluted rivers in Bali, and so everyone is now currently putting their boots on and getting ready to clean this dirty river. So let's go. Emergency cleanup that we do every so often whenever we find a very polluted spot. And we call these cleanups emergency cleanups because if we don't clean them up, it goes straight into the ocean. So then we're fighting against the tides. That's the type of things that we're dealing with. Sometimes when it rains, we know that it's going to speed up the whole flush down the ocean.
Strategy in this cleanup, because we can't bring in a heavy machinery, we can't bring in an excavator, is we jump in, we take everything from the riverbank and pull it downstream. We have a team that's over there collecting all of the non-organic waste in bags, and then we push everything, all of the organic waste off to the side. And hopefully, you know, as the trash goes downstream, it gets a little bit cleaner. And obviously we'll do a sorting in our facility. I think the most important thing with these emergency cleanups is not just to clean it up. We need to make sure that the trash gets properly sorted, gets washed, and can have a second life.
Kayaknya ini udah bertahun-tahun. Ini kayaknya kalau digali lebih dalam ini, kayaknya sampah semua ini isinya.
Kap, ini kedalaman 40 cm sudah plastik juga. Habitat batu-batu, piting sudah berubah jadi habitat plastik. Styrofoam, cup, semua plastik.
I've been standing here for about 20 minutes. I've collected 4 bags and I don't have to move. There's just so much layers of plastic beneath me. When we think we're victorious and we've cleaned up the river, you know, then we're just going further into the mangroves to realize that there's a lot more trash. Semangat! 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 Semangat!
Kita tim sekarang lagi estafet untuk mengambil sampah yang kita kumpulkan tadi di selatan. Berhubung akses juga kendaraan kita tidak bisa, solusi dengan estafet ini jadi kerjaan kita lebih ringan untuk dibawa selanjutnya ke tempat pemilihan.
Selamat pagi, saat ini kami di Desa Kedung Rejo, tepatnya di Dusun Sampangan, pinggir pantai. Mungkin kita bisa ketahui ini lapangan juga kotor, kemudian di pantai itu ternyata masyarakat itu secara kemarin menyampaikan pada kami, mereka tidak ada tempat membuangkan sampah dan mereka mengakui bahwa mereka benar-benar membuang sampah itu ke tepi pantai dan di sungai. Targetnya kita akan melakukan pembersihan ini selama 2 hari dengan harapan setelah 2 hari itu kita melakukan edukasi kepada masyarakat. Kita ada 1 sesi untuk sosialisasi atau semacam penyuluhan terkait dengan bagaimana kita mengelola sampah. Jangan sampai sampah itu dibuang di sungai ataupun di tepi pantai.
Gimana? Soalnya nggak ada yang tempat sampahnya nggak ada. Kalau di Gedung Rejo nggak ada yang ambil.
Oh, di sini nggak ada?
Nggak ada. Jadinya semua buang ke sini.
Iya.
Kalau nggak buang ke sini, buang kemana?
Oh, berarti semua warga di sini buang ke sini dia?
Iya,
Langsung ke pantai? Misalnya kalau ombak besar,
ya ikut.
ikut. Terus kemana sampahnya?
Ya, kembali lagi ke sini kalau ombak itu.
Tapi pantainya kalau jelek sekali terus kotor-kotor, tidak apa-apa.
Nggak apa-apa, saya biasa itu gitu.
Every resident out here, this is their solution. They throw their trash directly onto the beach. Berarti ibu sekarang misalnya setiap hari buang sampah ke sini?
Ya, saya kalau buang di sana, kalau sana keliling sama saya.
Misalnya, terus tadi pagi saya hampir dapat 5 kampil dari sini. Mungkin beberapa sampahnya ibu.
Enggak. Saya paling 5 hari 1 kali. Ya. Dulu ini diambil 1 dikasih timba 2. 1 bulan 10.000 bayar, lainnya enggak ada yang bayar. Apanya ada jambil pesan gitu.
Udah lihat videonya dengan penuh? Oh ya, coba lihat. Coba lihat ini.
Larva itu kayaknya.
Bukan, ini sedotan plastik.
Ini keluar darah.
Iya, itu dah.
Kayak kayu-kayu itu. Berarti kita jangan buang sampah sembarangan.
Iya, itu. Misalnya banyak sekali ikan yang kelihatan plastik segini terus kirain itu makanan, tapi beda. Berarti besok-besok. We just showed them a video of a turtle with a straw up its nose so they could really imagine and see for themselves. But the work is much more than that. So, you know, this is just the beginning. They need to be taught every single day in the classroom and needs to be way beyond that. When we clean the beach, it feels like it's a very useless thing to do because we know that so much is going to come right back. But what these cleanups do is they directly help educate the communities that are living on the shores. You know, there's been a few hundred people watching us, joining us, a lot of kids joining us, and that's a great moment to reflect and actually, you know, teach these kids, speak about the impact of plastics, and really sort of sharing the knowledge of our teams of how do we live more sustainably, how can we find better alternatives, and how can they dispose of their trash better. Not by cleaning it, but by raising awareness and educating.
There's no looking away from pollution. It has really become a reality. There is so much trash out in the environment that it is so important for us to clean up. And unfortunately, sometimes expensive machinery or simple technologies like our barriers can no longer do it. That's why the power of community is so important. And cleanups are an essential part of our work at Sungai Watch, whether it's the emergency cleanups or community cleanups. We are very aware that these cleanups will not solve all of our waste problem solutions, but they are more than just picking up trash. They're a great moment for us to reflect on ourselves and on our environment. They are a great educational tool and they kind of force us to go on the ground and have a reality check. There is such a lack of waste management infrastructure. There's a lot of work left, and we know that sometimes the best way to continue going is to actually join a cleanup and get your hands dirty. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope you enjoyed going behind the scenes with us as we organize these cleanups. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel to see more of our activities. See you in the next video.